I definitely believe that, way more than people believe.
Zach is here, so.
Hey Zach, get out here.
Zach, come on out.
Buddy.
Yeah, why not?
Can I have mine, please?
Sorry.
This is your pen.
No, is it my panel?
It's your pen.
It's
Oh, I
your
heard you talking, so I didn't.
Oh, no.
We were just
hanging, waiting. Yeah.
hanging out. Yeah. Okay, bye.
We'll have him comment on this video.
Apparently I have live stuff. Otherwise I would.
We have a new thing, Zach, which is you're going to sit here and make comments on your video as we run it.
Yeah, you have.
Can someone get the lights? Does anyone who works here get the lights?
In a world is on a screen, I will narrate this video. Lights, camera, lights. Let there be darkness falls slowly.
The world's slowest light fade.
This will be over in 25 minutes. Damn, that is a cool looking crown. It was. Why am I talking like this? What is it? And who's that? King Roan. He's not pleased. But is he ever? Well, what
You're
a
in
dirty
disguise, same as me. You're on the run, same as me. In the wilderness, same as me.
I'm finished. Ooh, that was a good story.
King Roan of Azgeda, eldest son of Nile, grandson of Theo,
I don't know what
and
you're.
caretaker of the throne.
I am a new express. I can throw things.
Fighting for my daughter, one champion, her clan, one death, instead of thousands.
Wouldn't that be nice?
And I'll still be a good man.
There's no such thing as a good one. Oh, I was back to that dude. Oh, Jason took it. I don't know how I survived that. I'm really good with the bow and arrow. Oh. And that little stream had salmon in it.
Nice narration, Zach
Was
McGowan.
it good? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Now let's do it in the dark. How about we just do a panel in the dark? That'd be fun.
Oh, hey, there's
Oh,
people here.
hey.
I thought I was watching from my own house.
Yeah.
That's just what I do when I watch.
Have you shown your kids that kind of thing?
Yeah, they've actually, well, Elsie and Nellie, they always have watched the whole
Oh,
series all
the
the
whole
way
thing.
through.
Did you hide them anything from them?
I hid nothing.
Wow.
It's PG-13, so.
How old are they now?
It was 13 turning 14 and 11, but they watched it when they were like 9 and 12.
I mean, it's dark.
Yeah, it is dark, but, you know, not say as bad as like Poltergeist.
Fair. Fair.
That really tough.
Are they impressed by their dad?
No, Daddy is not cool.
Oh.
Dad's, just so you know, if you have children and they, once, like, they'll, at first, they're like, you know, they look up to you, everything is, they want to be and all that, and then they just like, they're like, you suck. You know, because you inevitably have to, you know, not let them do things they want to do, and try to get them to do things that they should do, you know, so that type of stuff but I do have an announcement to make. I just got a video. My daughter just mowed like 2.5 acres of grass. And I'm very, very proud of her for this because I think it's good to do things. And to be able to do things, it's a good thing.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so
Can you give us an update on the Western you did with Bob Morley?
I can give you some updates. I literally almost negotiated a piece of that and getting it out. I was in Montana doing another Western, so I was there and chat with all the people involved, and I got like an actual sit down, like an act with people who were like suing each other to like agree, even though they're lawyers, so they're not supposed to like sit down and just because what happens is people can be a part of a collective process, but then act very individually and not see that like there's not even just the people who were in the film, but people who may want to watch the film. There's a lot of people that have a stake in things, whether it's financial stake, creative stake, any kind of stake. So I literally almost negotiated the piece. And unfortunately it fell apart when the guy who's suing everyone threatened to sue me. And I was like, oh, dude, so I mean, come on. Yeah, I was like, yeah, you're really like a great Montanan man who means what he says with his handshake and all that. Like, let's go and actually get this thing out. But so the update is that it is completed, and it is done, and it is awesome, and I've watched it, I'm very proud of it, and Bob is awesome in it, and really pulls off a great cowboy in it. And he's kind of like, he's an antagonist in it, so he kind of just comes in and starts up a bunch of shit. Like, like lots of problems come about because he comes into the film, and he's got like a whole posse of guys with him, and torches, and they're not happy about stuff, and they want blood, and it's really good, and I'm very, in fact, there was almost a screening of this film at ConAgeddon this year. The aforementioned law stuff got in the way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
Well, hopefully someday we can see it.
yes, I mean, definitely one day
Yes.
you will see it. It's just, I mean, if you would like, I would like you to see it. You're not forced to. I mean,
Right.
You will have the opportunity to do so at some point. I wish it was now to be when cooler heads prevail and peace is brought to
Right.
Montana.
Yeah, fair. Do you have any idea how many Westerns you've been in?
I believe I've been in 3 official Westerns, but I did one film in Montana that was kind of like a Western, but it was like a Scottish Western.
Naturally.
In a weird way. But it wasn't really a Western, but it kind of felt like it because we were like in Montana on horses, and instead of having like 6 shooters, we had swords.
You wear a kilt?
It's so weird. It's a Scottish movie, but no one is wearing a kilt because it's winter in the Highlands, and they don't wear the kilt in the Highland snow. It's a snow movie, and it's a snow Western, and we're riding horses. I was hoping to get a kilt, but we did get to wear kilts at the premiere in the Edinburgh Festival, which was awesome. And I wore like, it turns out kilts are like the most expensive of all clothing in the history of the world because of the manufacturing process of it and the natural fibers. It's very expensive. So like, I wore like some like $25,000 tartan to the premiere, and I did it officially, no underwear, the way it's done. It's a little breezy down there, but yeah, it was actually kind of awesome. Keeps you really warm though.
Yeah, it's like wool.
Lots of wool.
Yeah.
And then there's a little thing that kind of, the thing that goes there is because you're not wearing underwear. It's like actually quite revealing. And I even had the dagger. I had the dagger in the boots and the whole thing. It was really awesome. And I think, you know, I was like, this is a pretty sweet skirt.
Yeah. I can see you in them.
It's a nice skirt.
Well, you know what? Let's break open the microphone for fan questions because it is the Zach panel, and this is your con, and you're one of the final panels, and we're all excited to hear your answers.
I'm gonna sound better with this mic. You're right.
What's up? What's up, Ted?
What's up? It's not really a question, but my thing is, when are we gonna arm wrestle for the ConAgeddon stage?
Dude, you are a beast. What arm do you like to use? Are you lefty or righty?
All right.
You're right sound lefty. So we really can't fairly arm wrestle.
It's okay to do lefty because
Oh, you think you want to take me in the left?
I mean it's up to you.
I mean, do we have a table worthy of, because you know, if you don't have the right table, you break the table.
Yeah.
And then the other way you can do it is lying down. I mean, you can arm wrestle me if you want.
I mean it's up to you.
I feel like you might have superhuman strength. I'm not joking.
Let me ask the fans. Do you want to see me and Zach wrestle, arm wrestle?
What is at stake in this arm wrestle?
What?
What is at stake? Well, I want to have ConAgeddon stakes. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do it like here on this thing?
Yeah.
Come on down, Tim. Apparently we're having an arm wrestle match. ConAgeddon Sunday.
I guess we're arm wrestling then, bro. Get on down here.
Oh, he's got the music. Yeah! Let's go! And in this corner,
I'm not guaranteeing anything here.
Tim versus Zach. All right. Ready, set, go. Oh! Zach got him. Oh, they're right hands now because they're men. Two hands. You got him. Okay. You gotta throw on. Every single year, man.
Still undefeated!
Wow. Good luck following that.
So I watched you on Shameless only like 2 years ago because I was too young to watch it before. What was the difference, like the filming environment difference between filming something like Shameless and filming something like 100?
I mean, a wild difference. Like, I mean, Shameless is a studio show, right? So it's shot on a soundstage for the most part, and then basically the way we shot it, we do like 8 weeks of production in LA, and then we'd fly out to Chicago and do exteriors for like 2 weeks. And then we'd do that again, where we would go another 8 weeks in LA, and then we'd fly back out to do the rest of the exteriors. So a totally different environment. Shameless was like such a cushy job in that, like, you know, you're not really in the elements, and you're not, and they didn't even put any hair and makeup on me. I would just like kind of show up in my clothes, and they would like take my jeans off, and I'd put on like an identical pair of their jeans. I'd take my t-shirt off, and they would just sometimes not have a costume. You know, so it was like very different. They might, you know, just also the nature of the way we shot. It was kind of like you might do 2 takes on one scene in a whole episode, whereas mostly that's just like, we would just shoot it like once. So it was very short. Like, you might have a 7-page scene, and you just kind of like shot that in 7 minutes, and then that was the end, you know. Also, it was a lot more like improv-y, it was a lot more like things that were not in the script that would make it into the show, because the nature of it was more comedy-based than The 100. So The 100 is more, of course, like hours in hair and makeup, flying up to Vancouver, practice this thing, you know, go deep into the forest, and, you know. So it's just very different in that way, but in reality, as far as like when you're acting, there's actually not much difference between like a second grade acting class and like the biggest movie in the world. Like what you're actually doing is the exact same thing. So while there are differences, the differences are mostly based on production, departments, things that are going on that are different than just the acting bit. So different, but the same. Same, but different.
So, as a fellow Zach, I hate to do this, but also if I hated it too much, I wouldn't do it. So here's my act of betrayal. My first question is actually for Joe. Yesterday during the Boys of ConAgeddon panel, someone that asked, had anyone taken any souvenirs? And Mr. McGowan mentioned that the flame is currently a Lego piece, and I saw you die inside. Thoughts?
Well, it wasn't even just because it was Lexa, it was like the value of that in a Cancer Kid / charity auction is really astronomical.
Would you?
I agree.
You want it?
Listen, if it's sitting in a Lego box and your children don't really want it, it could raise like up to $10,000 for charity.
Why don't you come over and do yours?
I don't live in LA, but I will talk.
Or, I mean, I wouldn't want to put it in like a package because I would worry.
Then next time I'm in LA, I'll come get it.
Yeah, you can. Done.
Done.
There you go.
Thank you, Zach and Zach.
My second question, during our little meet and greet, Gene Hackman came up.
Yes.
And I was listening to a podcast recently where they talked about how Gene Hackman was kind of the last of a dying breed of actors, where when you casted Gene Hackman, you got Gene Hackman, and that modern actors are more chameleons and are able to do multiple things instead of just like, okay, I'm Gene Hackman, I'm going to be Gene Hackman. Do you think that's a bad thing or a good thing for Hollywood acting?
I think, you know, there's different kinds of actors and there's different kinds of acting. Some acting is bringing yourself to a role, and some acting is changing yourself for a role. I do a lot of changing myself for a role and bringing myself to a role, so it just kind of depends on the different job. In Gene's case, you know, obviously he had a lot of opportunities to bring himself to roles. You know, so like for instance, if you get an audition or an offer or something for a role, and you know it's like a Russian, for instance, and you go and play and like me, it doesn't make all that much sense. You know, it's like the guy's supposed to be like from Russia, living in Russia, and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's like, I mean, like I have some actor friends who think like, oh, if you can't do this, then you're not a good actor, right? But I don't think that's the way. It's kind of like to me, it's like, the way I look at it, it's kind of like, it's cool if you want to be a vegetarian, it's cool if you want to eat meat, it's cool, like, so the way I look at it is more like, it's cool, like, if you want to do it however you want to do it, like, and he was certainly very successful and very awesome doing it his way, and I'm very sorry that, you know, it sounds like it was a really tragic situation for him, and, you know, it's actually like situations like that that like, you know, make me really value my time with my family. But yes, Gene is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with being an actor who just plays themselves in that situation. Certainly not in Gene's situation, because he kind of always played parts that made sense for him.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do see actors doing that in projects where it doesn't make sense, and that's where I'm like, oh, well, I think it would have been better if, like, you know, he sounded like all the other people, like, you know. So I think it's
There's a little bit of that.
Yeah, a little bit of that. And certainly, I don't think anyone would be out there saying that Gene was brilliant, right? I mean, he's a
Exactly.
actor, so, yeah. I don't know if that.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
And that's in no way, I thought you were going to offend me. That you said,
No, the offending,
I'm going to offend you.
the offending part was when I betrayed you to Joe.
Oh, okay.
That was the part.
No,
yeah.
no, that's good. That's good. In fact, I never actually thought of that it would be worth that much money. And if you can get a good amount of money for fuck answers,
It's when cancer gets lost.
cancer gets
Yes,
Cancer gets lost.
but we also say F cancer every day.
F, look, F, sorry, children. I use F-bombs. But you know what I just read? I read that it turns out people who curse are more straightforward and less deceptive.
Fuck yeah, they are.
Fuck yeah.
That's all like, yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach and Zach.
Hi. Yeah.
hello, good.
Speaking of a Russian, you left the 100 and you went to my favorite television show of all time, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, wow.
to play Anton Ivanov, a character who, no offense, I despised.
Yeah, he was a little.
Yeah, he was really evil. He caused 9-year-old me so much emotional trauma. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But so what was it like going from one show to another, especially considering you went from the 100 in season 3, in which we had Ollie, a evil AI, to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 4, where we had Ada, an evil AI. Just new evil AI stuff.
You know, it was a really wild transition. I felt just very lucky to be able to, you know, go on to another show and get to play a person like I. She had never really done much Russian work, even though I knew I had the accent and the character in my I had like a little mental file cabinet. So I had him in there, and actually, funny enough, Bob and Chai and Tasya helped me put down the tape for that in the Sutton Hotel in where we all stayed and stuff in Vancouver. So, I mean, it was really cool. I hadn't played a part where like I had to cut my hair in a while. I really wanted to try to like cut my hair because people were giving me this like, you're a hair actor thing, and I was like, kind of like basically the shit maybe people talk about, Gene, you just play yourself, you know, something like that. So I was actually looking for a role, and I'm always looking for it. I want to shave my head. I spent most of my life with a shaved head. I only back to grew my hair out just minutes before getting cast on Shameless. So then I was like, oh, long hair. But so it was really cool, and I think with Anton, like most times I play a villain. I always try to, you know, I always try to work towards this guy doesn't see himself as a villain. But in Anton's situation, I actually tried something a little different, where I kind of leaned into the villain part of it. And so, judging by your reaction, I think I may have succeeded in that. But yeah, lots of AI. Mallory, who played Ada, was brilliant. She did like a thing with her eyes that was like, it was like very convincing. You're like, are you a robot? And yeah, it was, I think, you know what's so funny is when I was doing that wasn't long enough ago that like AI seemed almost like it was like fantasy and not real. And now here we are, like, just steeped in like, what is anything we're watching even real? And is it just being made to be angry? Like, what is happening here? So yeah, it was a lot of, but what I like about it is obviously AI was represented very evil in these shows, and now it's being kind of like presented to us like, don't worry about anything, it's gonna be fine. Don't worry about the robot army.
Watch Westworld, we are F.
Yeah. We were really not really worried about that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And just very quickly, if there was one actor you worked with on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. who could come over and could have been in the 100, who should it have been?
I mean, pretty much all of them probably should have and could have been in 100. But I mean, I probably worked closest with Mallory, to be honest. And it was funny because we had mutual friends. She had actually been in the In Excess movie that my buddy Luke Arnold did. So like we had a lot of mutual friends and stuff. But I mean, I think she would have done a great job on it. I mean, to be honest, all of them would have. I mean, Clark, all of them, like they were a joy. But also to answer like a previous question, it was just so much easier to shoot Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's in LA, right? And like, I mean, people don't realize it's like I have kids. Like, you know, when you're up in Vancouver for like 6 months, it's like, you know, it's pretty difficult. Whereas like, you know, driving down to the Sony lot for an afternoon to just fuck around in a submarine with some knives. Different, you know, set of situations. So yeah, I mean, I just love acting, honestly. You know, I love if I get to play, then I get to play.
Awesome, thank you.
This might be a long-winded explanation before I get to my question, but
There's no way it's going to be longer than my long-winded response.
Okay, perfect. I love that. So there was a Harry Potter actress that kind of explained that she didn't understand the hype and obsession of Harry Potter in relation to they were children's movies, they were made so long ago. People are putting stuff in their weddings, just that they never expected the fandom to be that, you know, obsessed and passionate about it. As someone who used elements of the 100 in my wedding, were you ever expecting the hype and the obsession and the passion from your fans of the 100, especially you leaving the show so early?
I had absolutely no idea. I had no idea at all. I mean, I just knew that people liked it already, you know, and yeah, but I didn't know quite the level of ravenous fandom there was. You know, just such excitement until kind of, I guess, probably probably towards the end of it, you know, of my time on it, I understood that it was getting, and I think it's, I think any time a show or any kind of art or literature or anything has lasting value and people kind of think of it after it's done, I think that's awesome, you know, so I think I'm just very blessed, even though I didn't really realize that it was going to be so well received.
Do you expect it to continue to grow with time or dwindle as the series gets further and further away?
You know, I never know. It's like, I've done a lot of shows now, and it's funny, like, when stuff goes on streaming, it can kind of get bigger. Like, for instance, I mean, I was at the beach. I go to Long Island with my family every July 4th. Whoop, Long Island. And like Shameless has just come out on Netflix, and it was like all the lifeguards who are all like, you know, teenagers were just like freaking out about Shameless, and I was like, where are you guys watching this? And they're like, it's on Netflix. I was like, it's on Netflix? When did it go on Netflix? And they're like, it's the new show. Like, they thought it was like a new show. They didn't realize that it was from 10 years ago. So, yeah, I don't know. The same is true with like Black Sails. It's probably being watched by more people now than it was ever watched on Starz or on Hulu because it's on Netflix. So, I guess if you're lucky and if you do a good job, perhaps things can get bigger over time. And so will the 100 continue to grow? It seems like it is. And it seems like so I do this weird thing because people come up to me all around the world, wherever I am, and they're like, oh, I love you on the show. And I have no idea what show they're talking about. I'm like, what show? And they're like, your show. Because they might know me from just that. And I'm like, what show? So I end up asking them, and I can kind of judge a little bit by that. You know, like basically, like I can judge by how easy it is to go shopping, you know, for like milk, and how many times I have to like take a photo and whatnot. Where I'm lucky enough to interact. So it seems to me like 100 is actually getting bigger because I keep getting more and more people with that type of that type of response. But so it seems like it's going to keep going at least for the near future. And if the world, I mean, it's funny. I told Jason this. I was like, Jason, I was actually walking the strike line during the strike, and I was chatting with him, and I was like, I feel like you were so ahead of your time because all these themes that seemed more sci-fi and out there are now just like cemented in our everyday life. And so because of that, I think it's going to resonate even more. So in that way, I think it can continue to grow. And it's like, I hope people keep watching. Thank you.
We're at a convention with 105 years after it ended, so, and it's almost sold out, so that tells you something.
Yeah, so I mean, that tells us something. Yeah. And because I just won against Debbie, we're going to have to do
That's
it.
true, yeah.
I mean, that's typical. Sorry.
All good. So I actually am going to record this for my little sister, if that's okay.
Yeah.
She is an aspiring actor. She's in high school right now, so she's really just starting to think about that world. And I really appreciate your passion for acting. Your range is incredible. You're actually the only cast member I've seen in other work. So that's really cool to have that perspective with you. And I was just curious what advice you would give to a high schooler thinking about this world for the first time.
It's not my advice. It's the best advice ever given to me. And it was given to me by Philip Seymour Hoffman on a subway car in New York while I was on my way to a play rehearsal for like a small little tiny off-Broadway play that probably cost me more money than I made in the entire run, even though like all my friends were the ones who bought all the tickets, but I didn't get anyway. But I was sitting there in the train, I'm like, running lines in the train, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, I looked in the mirror, I mean the window, you can see reflection in the window, and I realized that Philip Seymour Hoffman sitting next to me. I'm like, oh my God, Philip Seymour Hoffman, dude, like I got so much respect for you. You're the best actor ever. I've been watching your work ever since Scent of a Woman. And he's like, dude, no one knows that that's me for Scent of a Woman. I was like a teenager, and I was like, dude, I've been literally watching you since then because like your character, like I love your work. You're so good. Do you have any advice for a young actor? And he was like, well, since you know me from Sense of the Woman, thank you. And he was like, he said, at first, everyone is going to tell you that you're stupid and you're making terrible choices. Inevitably, that would be the most, that would be the response kind of across the board, like you are a delusional person, like what is wrong with you, get a job. This is not, that's what I want to tell you. Then everyone's going to tell you that you're brilliant. You found your path, and you're the most brilliant thing, and you're doing what you're supposed to do. And they said, and then everyone is going to tell you that you're stupid, and you're delusional, and what are you doing with your life? And I didn't really get it at the time, and he was like, this is my stop, go look at the play. I was like, come see my play. And he got off, he didn't get the play. But I mean, I think what he was saying as I become older is that you really can't put the stop, like you can't get your value from what other people are saying to you, right? And that if you're always worried about how other people are perceiving you, then you're just going to be on this roller coaster of like, oh, they think you're awesome, or you suck, or whatever. But the truth is, if you want to do something, then you have to have like fortitude inside of yourself to believe in and trust in yourself. And does that mean you should just do nothing and wait to be the big? No, but you should work towards your goals, and it is a real job, even though sometimes it doesn't seem that way. I think that if you don't chase your dreams, then certainly no one else is going to chase those dreams for you. So if you want to do something, get out there and do it.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is a more the 100-related question, unlike the others, which are more active. Saying that you're the eldest son of Naya implies that you have siblings. What do you think kid Roan versus his siblings would be like?
Well, you know, me and Toss always talk about how, you know, we thought like being a kid in Azgeda was like, they like stuck you in like a cage and like prodded you and, you know, like I like pictured that like Naya was like, you know, like threw me and my brothers and our sisters in like a cage and was like, and now you'll fight to the death for which one of you will be, you know, the heir to the throne or something like that. Like we always thought it was like that kind of very rough type place where they like, you know, they did that. But I don't think we never really got to meet them, and we never got to meet Theo, the grandfather and all that. So I think it was probably like a pretty tough situation, and there was not enough hugs.
I think all of Ice Nation needs a giant hug.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just so cold, you know, too much clothing, you know, I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, I just always envisioned it, like, I don't, like, you know, it's like when you watch like Star Trek and you see like the way the Klingons are raised, you know, like, and it was like a little bit like that, you know, something kind of rough and very not love.
Yeah. Thank you. This will be our last question for Zach's panel.
Hi.
I wanted to ask, out of all your movies or shows or either or, which one has been your favorite to be part of?
I mean, I always say that my favorite job is the next job. But that's not really true. It is and it isn't. I really do enjoy acting so much that I get a great enjoyment out of all characters that I get to play. But all of them hold like a different place inside of me, and there's some piece of every character that I keep. And then some other part of me that is trying to get rid of some part of that character from my psyche. And probably, you know, the one that has stayed freshest in my mind for longest is probably Charles Vane, Black Sails. Not that Roan doesn't have an amazing part of me too. He does. He sits, and to be honest, like they're not all that different. In reality, they're just kind of in a different world, but they're very similar in their own way. You know. So I mean, I think, Charles wasn't the king, or I don't know, but I think they're very similar in a lot of ways. And, anytime I get to play that type of character, and what I mean by that type of character is like a person with like some sort of code, some sort of belief system about the way things should be or could be, then it sticks with me. So Roan is very much like that as well. Like I've said here before, like I really wish that instead of like all these wars, that these leaders would just get out there and fight each other, and then we can just not have to like deal with, the wreckage of their decisions that they don't have to pay the price for. So, when I get to play people like that, I like that. Like I'm sad that Roan died, but I'm happy he died instead of, the other people that would have died in his place.
Well, thank you, Zach, for this.